Guitar Boss Radio, coming to you now.
Right, welcome to the first podcast of Guitar Boss podcast. What an intro. Welcome to the first Guitar Boss podcast with Josh Gillis and Richard Constable. We're here just to talk about everything and anything to do with guitar schools, and even guitar online, including maybe crypto and NFTs. Who knows? You know, we both love business and everything in the space, so we might go off on some tangents. But I thought we'd introduce ourselves. So Josh, introduce yourself and tell us about your journey in the guitar world so far.
Yeah, man. So I'm Josh Gillis. I'm actually coming to you live from a coffee shop. If you're watching on video, I'm upstairs in the loft, and it's actually a coffee shop I used to own a few years ago. Ended up selling it and pursuing some other things, and I wound up doing guitar. So I'm kind of like Richard in the sense of like serial entrepreneur, trying a ton of different things. Still don't know what I want to do when I grow up, type thing. But I've always been fascinated with business, with people, helping people along the way. And so anyway, this January I started teaching guitar lessons full time, something I've always done part time over the years for extra income. And decided to go full time into it, which has changed a lot now that I went from like 4 to 5 students, making $400 to $500 a month. Now, 5 or 6 months later, I'm up to, I think I just counted 19 students now. And
Nice.
so it's been growing, which has been really cool, but I've had a lot of growing pains too, figuring out how to systemize things and, but growing in a good way. So I certainly don't have it all figured out, but I just love the platform here to be able to share what I have learned and hopefully help some people.
Definitely. Yeah, you're a knowledgeable guy. You've learned from lots of different people. So,
including yourself, man. Richard was one of my drop shipping coaches. Not one of, but the drop shipping coach. I've tried several different things, but yeah, God knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, we made a bit of money on some cat toys for a bit.
Yeah, that's right. Sold cat toys to people in Mexico, man. It's crazy what this guy does.
You can't make this stuff up.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, we both tried the drop shipping route for a while. You did some cat toys, we did some water bottles. I did a whole lot of makeup. Made a ton of money. Well, a ton, not in the big world, but a good chunk of change anyway. Learned a lot, but just wasn't that passionate about makeup for some reason. Don't wear it, don't use it, don't buy it. So what's the point of selling it for life? I'm similar to Josh. I was actually working in insurance up until 2017, and then got sacked, got kicked out. They were changing teams, and this, that, and the other happened, and I was the weakest link. Goodbye. So I had rival firms offering me jobs. I had old friends from other firms offering me jobs. I had lots of like things that could have worked out in the insurance world, but there was just something in me which just wanted to go out there. And it was funny, the year before I went on holiday with some friends, and I started just looking up guitar teaching for some reason. I can't remember how I kind of got into it. And I'd also started some guitar lessons, which I hadn't done in years and years and years. So I was obviously had some aching pain to get into guitar again, because I played it for so long, played it since I was 13. So at the time it was about 18 years, something like that. So my guitar teacher was teaching me, I was learning a bunch of cool stuff. And then suddenly I got sacked. Oh yeah, and then listened to a whole lot of podcasts and blah, blah, blah about guitar teaching, and then got sacked. And suddenly I was like, well, what do I do? And I was like, well, I started going online, looking up different stuff, and I was going on all these random webinars. I can't remember his name now. It's not Dan Locke, what's the other guy? Anyway, I went on his seminar. I was just like, wow, this is incredible, this business stuff. And then I was just started teaching guitar in people's homes, and then did that for a while. Then someone randomly called me in the summer, and I'd kind of maxed out my time because I was teaching people's houses, so I could only do 3 a day. So by the time it hit Friday, it was 15, and once you max out there and you're traveling all the time, you're earning just enough to get by. And then in the summer, I got a call from someone and he just said, "Oh yeah, we need a guitar teacher at the school that he works at. He works in the music department." So I just started teaching in a school. Did that for a while, and then I started with a franchise at the end of the year, G4 Guitar, 2017 December, and then I've been doing that ever since. And now I've just got to a point where I'm actually transferring franchises to Guitar Ninjas with Michael Gumley, who's a really knowledgeable guy. He's doing $500,000 Australian dollars a year right now. With multiple teachers. I think he's got 7 teachers or something. 250 odd students. So yeah, he's a great coach to have. But yeah, that was my long story short. That was my short story long. Sorry.
No, that was good, man. Super fascinating.
So yeah, what's one of the main things you've learned this week from teaching guitar?
I think really kind of where I'm at right now in my studio is growing pains, like in a good way. So the last 2 days have been kind of stressful because the more students you have, all of a sudden the more admin work you have. You have camps this summer going on. You have people getting sick or taking vacations, and it's just like piecing together the schedule and shuffling things around. So it's been a headache this week, but in a good way. I mean, I'm thankful to have the headache and, actually have the students to shuffle around. So there's no complaints. I had 2 new students yesterday who committed. Everyone does different ways to kick off lessons. I offer a free lesson first. I'd love your thoughts on that in a minute too, but I'm like, I've always offered a free lesson first. And it's usually like a 45-minute slot. We may go 30, maybe the whole 45 minutes, but I've never had a student come and do that. That end up walking away, never coming back. But I've also never tried charging a full first lesson or even like a half price or something. But anyway, I had a brother sister come in yesterday. They were super nice, like respectful kids. They're 11 years old and 9 years old. Connected with them immediately. Had a great time. They brought 2 guitars they had with them. One was both. One had a big crack in it. The other one, like the electric guitar, was won at some kind of auction, and like literally the strings were like touching the frets, like they wouldn't even vibrate. They were just like on the fretboard. So I said, leave your guitar with me. I'm gonna try to do something. I'll try to kick the strings up a little bit. No promises, but I'm gonna do that as a favor. So I gave him one of my studio guitars for the kid to take home and just try to show a little goodwill and little trust there. And so anyway, I booked him again for next week. And so this week's just been the scheduling thing. And one of the big lessons I've learned this semester, since I'm new, I've been doing this over 10 years part-time, but for part-time, it's not that hard. I mean, I could go meet people. When I first started, I started teaching it outside of the Starbucks. I didn't have a studio. I didn't have a place at my house to teach. I literally just grabbed a kid. I was like, hey, that Starbucks by where you live? Let's just meet over there. So we literally met outside, and and I was crossing my fingers it just wouldn't rain because I didn't want to have to go inside and like make noise. So but we all start somewhere, right? And so anyway, man, I don't know where I was going with that, just kind of sharing some backstory, but that's the biggest lesson now, I think, is just the growing pains of rescheduling. Oh, I remember where I was going. The importance of having a system and a structure in place. And I know that's something you're really good at, is putting systems in place to make life easier, some automations, because now I'm finding like crap. I got to onboard these 2 new students. I got to go copy and paste that old email and do it to this new family. Whereas now I need to take a step back and be like, oh, why don't I just put this up automatically? And all I got to do is put their email into a slot and hit send, and it just sends them the onboarding stuff automatically. So those are some of the things I'm going through right now,
Yeah, that's that's all I used to do. I used to just have a template. I would edit the start so it seems more personal, and then the rest was just same stuff. But just going back to like introduction lessons, I should just stay on systems for a second.
Yeah.
So the system I'm using at the moment is basically just means every time I get a new student, I just have to drag them across a little thing, and it pings them an email and a text. And then once they've paid it, it sends them an email. It has a membership site that they can log into, and it's got all the course materials. And it just sends them a few different things so they can just get started straight away. and it means that when they come to the first class, after the free class, they're all kind of set up and they know what's going on. So that's really powerful. I just have to drag, and I can get my VA to do that. I can just literally get them to go drag, and then it's done. And then the VA gives them a call as well and just signs them up. And then once they've paid, they get all that automation. The only thing with automation is that you have to make it quite generic. You can sound friendly in the automation, like, hey, Jimmy, hope you enjoyed the lesson, blah, blah, blah. When really, if you'd met them, you would know they enjoyed it or didn't enjoy it, right. Or whatever. And you could write a little personal note. I hope your daughter gets better, or I hope right. you get that Jimi Hendrix thing in, or whatever,
Yeah.
Just something.
Right.
So that's the only thing. But maybe with the automation, you can do that. And if you what I might add in, which I haven't tested out yet, is just like maybe a video. You could send them a little video straight after the lesson while it's fresh. Mm-hmm. Just spend 5 minutes. Obviously, if you're doing 100 demos a day, that's different. But if you're doing one, you probably spare 2 minutes just to do a quick video, just ping that over to them with all the automation, so it seems more personal. Yeah,
that's a great idea. It was something I used to do with my digital marketing for like realtors. I used to give leads to realtors and stuff. I used to have an app called Bonjoro, I think it was. It was like $15 a month. But you just do a quick little recording and ping it to their email. It's just a like you're saying, man, just a way to make that connection and make it really personable. They get to see your face and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, yeah.
Yeah, and it gets you good on camera as well.
Yep.
If you're talking to the camera all the time, because it is hard to talk to a camera, because you're not talking to anyone in a way. Or you have to sound animated. You have to sound animated. You have to be animated. You have to move your arms around a bit, and maybe do a little wiggle.
Well, yeah, man, we can do it. No one can see us unless you're watching this on video.
Yeah. Yeah. In terms of the free class, yeah, it's a mixed results, to be honest. Depends what time of the year it is. Oops, I've got my son here. He's sick.
Oh, sure, man. Yeah, do what you got to do.
Okay, we'll end. Thanks for listening to the Guitar Boss podcast. It's been Richard Constable and what's your name? Oh, I've lost you, Josh. I lost you there. We'll just sign out, okay?
All right, sounds good, man.
I'll say a little exit thing.
This has been the guitar. Brother. You do what you gotta do.
This has been the Guitar Boss podcast. It's been Richard Constable, and you are
Josh Gillis. Thanks for joining.
Take care. Bye.